Matt got on Twitter. I think he is a force to be reckoned with, and I think the White House is going to realize that Steve Bannon's loyalty is to his ideologies and his movement, and not necessarily to a president or one person. He is not someone who has been loyal to Trump for 20 years. He is someone who knew him peripherally and then worked on the campaign and in the White House. His loyalty is to himself and his message.
Steve Bannon expects the president to keep his populist, nationalist campaign promises. And as we saw this week with this seemingly getting JACA through Congress first before building the wall narrative, meaning border security comes second again, that changed over there at Breitbart. And so it is about making sure the campaign promises to that message are kept, and they're willing to hold the White House accountable on those specific issues and to go after his enemies on the other things.
We will watch that space. Joe Trippi, Katie Pavlich, Shannon Pettypiece, thanks very much for joining us this Sunday. Up next, ESPN says a sports host calling Donald Trump a bigot is merely inappropriate, and much of the media doesn't seem to care. And later, Hillary Clinton's TV blitz for her new book, Did Anyone Ask Her a Hard Question? What happened?
A heart attack doesn't care what you eat or how healthy you look. No matter who you are, a heart attack can happen without warning. A Bayer aspirin regimen can help prevent another heart attack. Be sure to talk to your doctor before you begin an aspirin regimen. Bayer aspirin.
Hi, so I just got off the phone with our Allstate agent, and I know that we have accident forgiveness. So the incredibly minor accident that I had tonight.
4 weeks without the car.
Okay, yep, good night.
With accident forgiveness, your rates won't go up just because of an accident. Switching to Allstate is worth it.
I had so many reasons for not losing weight, for putting it off. Sound familiar? It's time to take control with Nutrisystem.
Introducing new Lean 13 from Nutrisystem. Lose up to 13 pounds and 7 inches overall in your first month. Lose weight fast. Money back guaranteed.
You gain energy, you improve your health, and you lose weight. I'm Marie, and I lost 50 pounds on Nutrisystem.
Order your 28-day plan right now. With Lean 13, you'll get specially designed meals, plus 1 week of new NutriCrush bars to crush cravings free, and 1 week of Turbo Shakes to bust belly bloat free.
Belly fat? Got that under control, too.
Call or go online in the next 2 minutes and we'll even throw in FedEx shipping free. Lose up to 13 pounds and 7 inches overall your first month. Millions of people have lost weight on Nutrisystem.
It's time to take control.
Go online or call 888-526-THIN right now and get new Lean 13 with bars and shakes free.
Hi, Phil Swift here. This storm season, get the entire family of Flex Seal products. Flex Seal creates a super strong barrier that seals out the elements. It's liquid rubber in a can. And with Flex Seal liquid, you can brush, roll, dip, or pour. With Flex Shot, you can caulk, bond, and seal virtually everything. Flex Tape is the super strong waterproof tape that can patch, bond, seal, and repair. Make the Flex Seal family part of your storm preparation kit.
Home restoration takes time and money, so don't renovate, rejuvenate. Rejuvenate's super concentrated formula is the only floor finish that renews your floors in only one easy mop-on application. It fills and scratches, restores shine, and protects hardwood, laminate, linoleum, vinyl, and ceramic tile. And Rejuvenate's cabinet and furniture store puts on a protective mirror-like shine that lasts for years. Get Rejuvenate at these fine retailers.
We believe in rock and roll. We believe in blasting it down the fairway, turning up the heat and the fun. At Del Webb, we believe in life well led, in your own beautiful, smartly designed home, in an active adult community with sushi eaters, artists, thrill seekers, and you. We believe you'll like it here.
Despite the fact I talk on TV for a living, I don't necessarily like to do a lot of talking. I like to do a lot of thinking.
ESPN is still reeling after Jemele Hill, the co-host of SportsCenter, went way out of bounds in attempting to tackle President Trump. In a Twitter rant, Hill declared that Donald Trump is a white supremacist who has largely surrounded himself with other white supremacists. She called him the most ignorant, offensive president of my lifetime, and she calls Trump a bigot and unqualified and unfit to be president. And if he were not white, he never would have been elected. The network said in a statement that Jemele Hill's comments don't represent and that she's been talked to and understands her actions were. That's right, inappropriate. Sarah Huckabee Sanders had a harsher take from the White House podium.
I think that's one of the more outrageous comments that anyone could make, and certainly something that I think is a fireable offense by ESPN.
Joining me now from New York is Jared Max, sports reporter for Fox News Headlines 24/7 on Sirius XM. So, Jared, what do you, as a former ESPN employee, think about the network failing to take any action at all against Jemele Hill? No reprimand, no apology, nothing. We're calling the President of the United States, among other things, a white supremacist.
Howie, good morning. Right off the bat, I'm a big believer. You know the saying, actions speak louder than words? Mm-hmm. I'm a big believer that actions speak and words don't. So in a week where we've seen ESPN come out and issue a statement that separated itself from Jemele Hill's personal stance, and Jemele Hill then coming out and saying, this is not ESPN's beliefs, these are my beliefs, the actions still show that ESPN condones her behavior, because to our knowledge, she has not been suspended and certainly not terminated. So it is an interesting story.
Right. Some people said slap on the wrist. It wasn't even that. And, you know, when Jemele Hill and her supporters say, oh, these are just her personal views on Twitter, I mean, of course, she's a television personality. When you worked at ESPN, what were you told about popping off on social media?
I can tell you this right off the bat. First day at ESPN, I was pulled into my boss's office and told, you're no longer Jared Max. You're ESPN's Jared Max. If you do anything stupid, you go out late at night, you get in any kind of trouble, you wind up in page 6 in the New York Post, you're ESPN's Jared Max. Jemele Hill knows the score. Further, there have been different policies that have been issued by ESPN before the presidential election, as well as one earlier this year, that clearly stipulate, do not insert your personal political opinions, do not take disparaging shots, pot shots at political folks.
Right, so that's been clear policy. Obviously, it hasn't been enforced. Let me move now to the White House press secretary, because after the clip we showed of Sarah Huckabee Sanders saying this was a fireable offense, there was another briefing where reporters pressed her about that and the White House position. Let's take a look.
Does that mean that he's willing to apologize for birtherism claims that he called on for years? Did he give you any pause to make those comments about a private company from the podium here at the White House?
I wasn't being talked about a private company, but an individual.
So some journalists are making the White House an issue rather than the conduct of Jemele Hill and the handling, I would say, botching by ESPN.
These are uncharted times, Howard, obviously. When I first got into broadcasting 20 years ago, I used to keep a sign up in my studio that said no race, no religion, no politics. And now everything is kind of intertwined. And ESPN finds itself in a real mess. What I find so interesting here is, and I'm going to talk about science. I was a C and D student in science, but I did remember this one. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. Colin Kaepernick kneels for the national anthem. That's his action, protesting. Reaction, 32 NFL owners decide this guy is not good for our business. Mm-hmm. He has done a lot to do everything to alienate our fans, the majority of our fans, offending them. He's not good for business. Then what happens? There's a rally outside the NFL offices not long ago, in my opinion, trying to bully the NFL into giving Colin Kaepernick a job, a guy who was clearly not good for business.
Right.
Action, reaction.
Right.
ESPN, hold on, what does ESPN now do? Because they have essentially aligned themselves separate from Jemele Hill, while Jemele Hill has been aligned with by Colin Kaepernick, Dwayne Wade, NBA Hall of Famer Reggie Miller. So now ESPN is in a position, because what do? If they take disciplinary action against her, what is the backlash? Is there a rally outside the headquarters in Bristol?
Let me jump in with this last question, because, by the way, the mainstream media, CNN, MSNBC, New York Times, Washington Post, didn't even cover this until the White House weighed in, which I found interesting. So ESPN's ombudsman weighed in, said Jemele Hill made a mistake, and said that, and has said before, that ESPN lets politics get too involved in the sports coverage, that it leans to the left, that conservatives don't feel comfortable with it. What do you think about ESPN's positioning?
I don't necessarily know. There's a lot of talk about leaning to the left, and people forget sometimes that the media is comprised of individuals, and when you give this person a very large stage, they can be mistaken as having the voice of the network. When it comes down to it, yes, this was a very much a personal attack. She still has the tweets that are there on Twitter, has not removed them.
Right.
Again, actions speak and words don't. This has been condoned. Those tweets about our president are still there, which is outrageous when you consider that many others have either lost their jobs or been suspended for much less.
Yeah, including conservative former baseball player Curt Schilling. And what amazes me is the ESPN doesn't seem all that concerned that it is alienating lots of sports fans who don't share Jemele Hill's opinion of the president. very much for joining us from New York.
Thank you, Howard.
Great to see you. Ahead, a Media Buzz exclusive, the troubling omission in a CBS report largely defending the Consumer Financial Protection Board. But first, Ed Henry on why the coverage doesn't reflect Donald Trump becoming a more traditional president. Well, at least until he tweeted something this morning.
Or fill out forms or applications, you're at risk.
I could not believe that somebody would steal my tax refund. It made me angry.
LifeLock members have identity theft protection in place before a problem occurs. If you just monitor your credit, you can miss certain identity theft threats. LifeLock sees more, like if your personal information is sold on the dark web. If we detect a potential threat to your identity, you'll get an alert. If there's a problem, a U.S.-based restoration agent will work to fix it.
They know everything that there's no way I could know. I turn it over to LifeLock and they'll help me.
There's a new victim of identity fraud every 2 seconds. 1 in 4 people have already experienced it. But LifeLock members are covered by LifeLock's $1 Million Protection Package, including reimbursement of stolen funds and personal expenses up to the limits of your plan, and lawyers and experts if that's what it takes.
I was covered through my membership, and I received a check for approximately $1,200.
Join today for as low as $9.99 per month and get 60 days risk-free with promo code TV offer. LifeLock members get identity threat detection and alerts, a dedicated U.S.-based restoration agent assigned to your case, and you'll be covered by LifeLock's $1 Million Protection Package. Start your membership today. Enroll in minutes.
Having LifeLock, we didn't feel like victims anymore.
LifeLock. Call 1-800-360-0470 or visit joinlifelock.com. Use promo code TV offer to get your 60 days risk-free and a free shredder with annual membership. Call right now.
We're on to you, diabetes. Time's up insufficient prenatal care. And administrative paperwork, your days of drowning people are numbered. Same goes for you. Budget overruns, and rising costs. Wipe that smile off your face. We're coming for you too. At Optum, we're partnering across the health system to tackle its biggest challenges. Optum, how well gets done.
Something about the Trump presidency seems to have changed in the last few weeks, and in my view, most of the media haven't picked up on it. Joining us now is Ed Henry, Fox's chief national correspondent and author of 42 Faith, the rest of the Jackie Robinson. So the